initially we were thinking, this is the photo carousel, is that there would be like 10 profiles, and like imagine there's 10 dots here, and then it would rotate through it so that visually, you can see how many profiles. But we're starting to think that maybe even 10 profiles per day is too much if there's 2 videos, and it's kind of mandatory to watch each video at least the first time. That's 2 videos per profile, so it'd be like 20 minutes of investment, which isn't too much, but it's too many to potentially remember each profile meaningfully. So if we go to a lower number, like let's say 6, we're trying to figure out a way to like visually show that there's a finite amount of profiles, that it's not endless swiping. And so maybe if we have like the facets of a cube, where like, imagine this is an actual cube, there'd be a profile on each side, and each time you go to a profile, it shows a different side of the cube. Another thing that I was thinking about was like, imagine there's like an otter, and then you go to like the next profile, and then he goes in the bag and pulls out a profile and then shows it to you. But then that doesn't visually show that there's only 10, unless it's like a stack of 10 cards or something. So you imagine that like the otter goes into the bag, or like goes through the 10 cards and then shows you one and then puts it down. But that's kind of complicated mechanism, but it could be a way to visually show that there's a finite amount. Let's say we had a group of 9 cards, but you don't know exactly what's in it yet. So it does introduce that randomness. You click on one, it turns around and it shows their profile, and you can only click on one at a time. But there are 9 cards, and we only want to show 6. So in one of them, you get an osenka, which is the duck. And then on one of them, you get an otter, just for the otter raft thing. I can't draw an otter. Let's just say there's an otter. And then on one of them, you get a goose. Quack. And then the other ones are actually profiles that are randomly selected. So it's almost like it introduces that element of gaming, not gaming, gambling, but without the negative effects of gambling. And so by doing this, we could, one, it is different, but 2, because the number of people that they interact with per day is low enough that you can actually remember each. You don't have to rotate through a carousel, and it's almost like the memory game, and then you can choose who you want to interact with further. What do you think? So instead of having it just a random card, where's an actual pencil, you have, let's say someone is represented by a frog emoji. They would have a frog, quack, or whatever sound frogs make. And then one is a platypus. And then you click on that, and then it shows the rest of the profile, but still without name. It just shows the photo and the 2 videos and what they want to share about themselves. And then we'll have a random emoji showed for like osenka, the duck, and then an otter and a platypus, whatever. Yeah, that can work potentially if we can make the mechanism work. Mm-hmm. So on their screen, it would they see that grid of 9, and then 9 different emojis. But what do we do if 2 people have the same emoji? I guess that's not really a problem. Mm-hmm. There's just 2 different people that have the same emoji, just like two different people having the same first name. That could work. Do you think that mechanism we could create?
Honestly, that sounds really simple. Because before that idea, I was thinking more of like 6 pair of shoes, and then you can design your own shoes with different colors, but that's way too complicated. But it showcases certain curiosity of the people you want to meet, but also doesn't force you upon anything. You have a choice, but at the same time, that's that. Because you want to curate that curiosity within people, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I want that emoji to showcase like very like almost like through a veiled fabric, and then you have that initial show curiosity, you jumped into it, and you kind of it's exciting. I don't know.
Actually, I kind of like that. And when it comes to meeting people in real life, like, obviously sometimes it's artificial. Like, it's like, hello, my name is this. What's your name? I mean, that happens, especially like in networking. But when it comes to like more organic conversations that happen, like, let's say in a grocery store in like the US, and it's like, oh, hey, have you had that cereal before? It's just like more organic. I know I just said that several times, but it's like something like, yeah, like their emoji is something that can pique your interest,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the most important thing.